couple of sessions that I attended during the education convention that we all attended mid-January to late January. The first one I put down here is Data First for Governance. It's really aimed at things that school boards could do as far as highlighting our data, just some basic things there on the use of pictures and color to tell the stories, guiding questions such as how are we doing compared to the standard, compared to our own data over time, how well we're doing compared to others. Talked about using pie graphs, stat columns and so forth to represent different various types of data. And then it talks about data types. Session did a nice job talking about gathering baseline data on enrollment, performance, the environment, and so forth. Talked about second type of data is resource alignment data, funding, staffing, facilities. Third type of data was on programs and practices, curriculum monitoring, and the supports that we provide students. And the fourth kind of data was student outcomes, test scores, graduation rates, what happens with our graduates after graduation, the postgraduate or the post-secondary types of data that we need to be looking at. Another session I went to was called Creating Collaborative Leadership Structures. This one really interested me because, you know, one of my focuses as an administrator, as a district administrator, is to bring people together to work together, focusing on shared leadership and so forth. And you know, as we all know, one of the foundations of this is building trust. And they emphasize that trust takes time, especially with new people on a team. And as a new district administrator, I recognize that trust building is vitally important for all of us. And it talks, you know, they talk a little bit about district level teams, school level teams, and so forth. But there was a quote here that they provided, and I think it sums it up pretty well. Collaborative structures will be ineffective if they are hurried, imposed, or forced, or if they are used in the absence of commitments to building better relationships. And I think that's very true. Going over to page, and I apologize for the length of my report this time around, but I did want to share a few items that were of interest to myself and also other people. I also talk about the waiver in here that we received from DPI and the purpose of that waiver to make sure that we meet the number of required student contact days and also representing where we're headed in the future, and that I'm going to be working very closely with leadership from the employment group, the teacher employment group, and also the administrative team to ensure that we have the recommended number of student contact days and also allow for the professional development that we think is extremely important to move forward. Then my last item here talks about not just the instructional days, but also the number of hours and days that are required to be able to build in snow days. And I really emphasize here that snow days are built in when we increase the number of overall hours above what the state requirement is. So for instance, for every 7 hours that we build in above the state requirement, that provides 1 day. And you know, my best estimation, 3 days should really be the minimum that we build in. 4 would be great. 5 would be a little bit above and beyond. But next year's calendars, I'm working with the teachers group. We're looking at 3 right now, but we're going to try to find other ways, possibly by increasing the number of minutes to a school day. Not by a great deal, but by enough to maybe try to build in 1 more school day or 1 more snow day. So that's a summary of some things that I felt were important from the WASB Education Convention, and then some things related to our school calendar and instructional days.
Any questions for Jerry? On the 4 types of data for the board to make decisions, what is your sense on whether or not the district is collecting the data that we need in those areas?
That's a very good question, Nancy. And you know, one of the things that I hope that we're able to do when we're bringing in the talents of an organization, the Milk Group that I talked to you about previously, about how we look at data, the types of data that are important to look at, how we collect that, and how we analyze that, And we're right now in the discussion stages about how we move that forward with our current leadership teams. Would I say that we're excellent at that? No, we're not. I think we have some very good things in various pockets around the district that we do well with data and then responding to that data. But I don't feel like we have a collective district-wide approach to how we serve our students. And by serving students, I mean looking at data first and then determining, how we move forward with the type of instructional opportunities we have for students. So we have some things in place. I don't think they're as organized and structured as they need to be, but I think in the future, I think those future steps will start this spring. We'll be much more organized. So you'll get more feedback.
Move forward with the strategic plan.
Absolutely.
Our data collection and presentation, could be a goal that
You
we're
bet.
looking forward
You
to.
bet. Looking forward to getting that strategic plan pulled together, so it's the overriding umbrella of everything that we do. And I think that's a very good point to make here tonight, Nancy, is that we need to get that completed as soon as possible, using the data and the information we've gathered from the community in the past. And I do have some meetings set up with a few administrators to begin that work, and I do plan to